Superman is doing good in the United States. Internationally, though, not as good. It's considered a flop overseas. Why? Well, James Gunn says it's because there is an anti-American sentiment around the planet. And truth be told, yes and no. Because let's be real, James, there's always been an anti-American sentiment. And also, a guy with America in his name does better overseas. So, not entirely true. Oh boy, this video is going to get political. If you don't like it, make like a tree and get out of here. I don't know what else to tell you. Yeah, Superman, not doing good overseas. Not as good as it should be. Nowhere near where it should be, truth be told. But again, Superman, his time in the spotlight as a box office conqueror went away in the 70s. Like, people don't realize that he's never been a giant box office juggernaut. And even with Superman doing good, still compared to some other superheroes, it's not really as good as it should be, right? We can all agree on that. Again, I'm just pointing out facts. I love this film. I said it before, I'm going to say it again. I think this is the best DC Comics film ever made, bar none. Is it my favorite? No. But I think this is the best DC Comics film ever made. Like, full stop. To me, this is it. And I'm sorry I have to keep reiterating that because people hear me talk about box office and then I say, oh, well, it flopped here. And they're like, why do you hate the film? No, I don't. I love the film. Pointing out a fact doesn't make me hate it. Facts are facts, guys. So let's talk about what James Gunn used as a fact. Because, well, he was talking with the Rolling Stone magazine and they asked him about the international box office and how it's doing, what's going on, what does he think is going on, why is it underperforming, and all that. So that's exactly what I'm going to go over word by word what he said. And then I'm going to try to break this down to really get down to the bottom of it. So let's get into the anti-American perception. He said, and I quote, "We're definitely performing better domestically than we are internationally. But internationally is also rising and having really good weekly numbers in the same way we are. So obviously, the word of mouth is very positive here and everywhere else, which is the thing that we need to do the most. At the same time, there are certain countries in which it's really performing well. Brazil and the UK. Superman is not a known commodity in some places. He is not a big known superhero in some places like Batman is. These affect things. And it also affects things when there are a certain amount of anti-American sentiment around the world right now. It isn't really helpful to us. So I think it's just a matter of letting something grow. But again, for us, everything's been a total win. Having the movie come out and be something that has been embraced by people everywhere. This is just the seed of the tree that Peter and I have been watering for the past 3 years. So to be able to have it start off on a positive has been incredibly overwhelming." End quote. So I do want to apologize that this is going to be one of the longer videos because I wanted to read the entire quote and really break everything down. And I know some of you like the shorter form videos, 3 to 4 minutes, get to the point. This really needs a long form video. That's why it's going to be longer. So let's get into what he says. First and foremost, domestically performing well. Yes, it is. Again, people in the United States love Superman. This is a known fact, right? But it's also a fact that Superman has fallen off. He has. I talked about just seeing numbers for merchandise sales as I see them every year. I know people that pass them down to me. I've been talking about this since the channel, the podcast started. How Superman, like Spider-Man, with Man of Steel and TASM 2 mirrored one another. There was a distinct lack of Superman love from fans, and especially children, the last 10 plus years, because they just didn't like the Superman they were seeing. This has changed domestically. But internationally, that's where things get tricky. Superman, yeah, he's known. He has one of the most recognizable symbols, but that S being recognizable doesn't automatically make you a fan, you know? That's just a fact. And he mentions Batman, and yeah, he's right. Batman is a lot more popular than Superman. Again, 100% true. But this section now. We're going to end it, and we're going to get into the politics behind it. This is your final warning. If you don't like to get political or anything like that, you're going to need to turn away now. Let's get into it. Okay, so James talks about the anti-American sentiment, right? Is there one? Yes. This has been a growing thing over the decades, and it's really peaked the last 15 years. Now, again, we're getting political here. Whether you like it or not, the leader of the United States is not somebody that's loved by everybody. I don't care if you voted for him, if you didn't. I've talked about my issues with everything politics and how I'm neither side of that American-style spectrum of you got to be this or that. That's not me. I think it's a stupid system that doesn't work. But again, some people are diehard this side or that side. And the sentiment around the United States, specifically around what he's done and made enemies of a lot of countries, right? That is going to impact everything. But at the same time, we need to bring reality into this, guys. There is, and has been, multiple films called Captain America. And those succeeded. And that character continues to work overseas and sell. So it's not entirely anti-American sentiment, although that is a degree. It's how it's portrayed, what they're doing, and also the perception of the hero that all goes together. And that is an issue that really goes to the forefront of what James Gunn is saying. Sure, are some people going to look at Superman and go, oof, yeah, I don't know, like, this is a guy, it's an all-American superhero, this and that? Yes, they are. There are going to be people that are like that. The same way that people look at a female superhero and they go, well, I don't like it because it's woke, MCU, DCU, or whatever they're calling it now these days, or DEI and whatever. Everybody has a preference. The fact of the matter is, Superman has never been a big deal over the course of the last 4 decades. He peaked with the Christopher Reeve films, and that was really it. He's never been able to compete at the same level. And when specific versions of Superman become an allegory for 9/11, you alienate a lot of people, especially when you make him an image of Jesus. This also turned off a lot of people. A lot of people whose first exposure might have been that Superman. So it's not just the anti-American sentiment, it's the previous version that also hurt the character. If you guys want proof of this, look at Batman Begins. That film was substantially hurt by the end result that was Batman and Robin. And at the end of the day, both sides are going to point fingers and say this, that. But I don't know if you guys know this. A lot of the world with social media has woken up to the United States and been able to just kind of see things how they are. And a lot of people have turned against the way that this country is presented to the world and presents itself, seeing that maybe there's something wrong here with what we've been shown, what they're doing, and what we're seeing. And that does affect products from the United States. Not to a large degree, but there is a degree of it. And when you combine that with everything else I mentioned in this video, you can understand why it didn't perform as well overseas. Thank you for checking out that video, and thank you for your continued support. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, do whatever you will. And if you're so inclined and would like some additional content from us, which includes unfiltered content and bonus discussions, we do offer exclusively in our member section. We hope to see you there. So thank you for watching, and have a good one.